which is a reference to The Watchmen, and it's about taking a break and smashing reporters' faces every day. One of the massacres at the newspaper, something Gazette, I think in the Northeast, he was actively hate tweeting some of the people that were in the building that were worried about being shot at.
My God.
Okay. And he's created something like 200 monikers under the various names of the Spectre, specifically to go after politicians and women and minorities saying these horribly, horribly, horribly racist things. He was outed.
Who the fuck has time to do all this?
I know. He's on a podcast. I forgot what the name of the podcast is, but it's on an alt-right site. And he apparently on this podcast pretended to be a psychiatrist out of Washington State.
Oh,
somebody completely different fantasy. So it's so weird to suddenly find out that one of your friends is a horrible racist, misogynist, and like a fucking super villain. Like,
shit.
Where does this happen? And all because he's
Have you unfriended him?
I did. I did that thing. I went to his Facebook and I'm like, are we still friends? We are still friends. Let me troll his. Oh, he's got 400 friends. Oh, I'm the one gay one. Oh, there's the one black one. And then I'm like, nah, I got to undo this. I got to unfollow this. Now I haven't talked to him about it at all. I'm not sure that I can. When you actually advocate violence towards journalists, when you actually advocate violence towards people, when you're actually taunting people, when you're actually taunting people in a situation where they're actually being shot at by a gunman because they're journalists, you're just you're garbage. I mean, there's no dialogue. There's nothing to be had there.
As the person, I go back to the Patton Oswalt thing. I told my wife, I said, when I'm full of piss and vinegar, I'm going to try to remember what he did.
Take a second.
But this is all I'm saying to that gentleman. Look, I'm sorry that we've probably now lost you. Great. I hope you find something in your world that gets your shit in line, because that is fucked up.
Well, I was talking with some of his journalist writer friends at the paper or the magazine, and there was just kind of this. Nobody knew that he'd ever gone that far. Everybody knew.
Did they at least knew he was kind of
everybody knew the views were a little bit on the extreme, but never to the point of it actually being advocating violence.
What the fuck happens to you in your life and that goes into the Hitler type thing. What happens in a person's life? And I don't believe in people being born evil. I believe that there is a series of events that you learn things like that and you learn to cope with it. You may have dispositions chemically in your brain that take you there and you've learned it. But what takes somebody to that level?
There was also
we need to get your dad on the phone.
That's where the son of a psychologist is. I'm sitting here trying to.
Well, I had this conversation with actually them before this moment, and then again this moment here. Sometimes when he would get these views and start putting them out there, before we knew about the extreme level of views, there was a point to which I'm like, because he would still have these small conversations with me on the side, I'm like, do you really believe this, or are you getting some type of ego power out of this? I never actually asked him that, but I kind of always wondered, because it seemed to embolden him. That fandom, that interest, that excitement in terms of being contrary seemed to make him feel more powerful, and it would make him kind of push him to even more extreme.
I'd be interested to read his articles for D Magazine now.
Well, he did one for the Dallas Morning News, Why I Don't Want Diversity in My Neighborhood.
What?
Oh, holy shit. Seriously?
And they published that? It was in the Dallas Morning News. I have not read the article, but it was linked to in the Southern Public Law Center.
Are you looking that article up?
But if the Dallas Morning News wanted to publish it, it can't be that
that controversial.
It can't be that controversial.
Well, I have a friend who used to work for the Dallas Morning News, and so I'm going to have to ask about that.
I'll tell you his name later.
Please do. I don't want to.
Anybody who's this podcast and like Google Southern Public Law Center Inspector, but I'm just not going to throw his name.
I don't want to throw somebody completely. Well,
he was. Guess who exposed him?
Who?
So he's been married to his wife for, I don't know, 2 decades. Apparently he had a girlfriend on the side for 16 months.
Oh, oops.
She's the one who outed him to Southern Public Law Center. So now...
The girlfriend or his wife?
The girlfriend.
Okay.
So now, if that information even got back to his wife, she now knows that all those lovely dance lessons every week for the last month that he's been posting about...
Were fuck sessions?
Were something going... Like it now... Well, now it just becomes this whole thing where like now his wife... is now pulled into this moment. Whether she knew he was the Spectre, whether she knew he was advocating all this violence, I don't know what his wife knows, but he's very active in loving his wife online. And the fact that it was a girlfriend for 16 months who exposed him, and then they put all the pieces together and kind of brought it around.
We all have shit in our brains that hopefully some of us do a better job of keeping in balance and tucking away. But the people that get out there and start this, you've got to realize how frail a house of cards all that is. When you start these lies and you start this, eventually something's going to hurt. You're going to hurt someone that they want to get you back, or you're going to make a mistake.
Right.
And that house of cards.
Man,
right.
Sorry.
That's 35 minutes. No,
Yeah, we did good.
That's an interesting talk. The final one, and I can't wait to shut this down so I can know for sure who this person is. Everybody have a good day. We're going to talk about apes now.
Apes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.